Facts don't care about your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. These are facts.
This first story is from over last weekend. This is from NBC News headline, 10 killed, 3 wounded in racist shooting at Buffalo supermarket. If you're familiar with this story, basically a white 18-year-old man, it's hard because, like, in most contexts I would call an 18-year-old a boy, but I know that's really loaded because, and I don't mean that to be like, oh, if you're 18, you don't know better. You're just a little boy. It's just, I'm 30 now, so if you're 18, like, you're basically a kid to me, but I don't know. I know that it's really loaded to call a perpetrator of a mass shooting a boy or a kid, so I will refer to him as a man, but he was a teenager. This is from the article. A white gunman motivated by hate and dressed in tactical gear killed 10 people at a Buffalo, New York supermarket. Keep in mind, Buffalo is primarily, I think it's majority black, and he did not live in Buffalo, and keep in mind that, like, Buffalo is a very segregated place. Like, white flight really stuck there. Anyway, let's get more into the details. So, he shot 11 black people, 2 white people, and this is really disturbing, but he streamed the attack on Twitch. Twitch said that the stream was removed less than 2 minutes after the violence started, but it does show I guess there's not a whole lot they can do. Like, what can they do? Just have someone watching every stream at all times who works for Twitch? But it is a little backwards and terrifying that if you play a licensed song for more than, like, 4 seconds or something, if you just play a little soundbite, that's fine, I think. But your stream will instantly be demonetized and or taken down for playing a song. But there's no mechanism to, like, instantly take down a brutal massacre. It's just, I get that it would be harder to figure out what is a brutal massacre and instantly take it down, but it is just kind of backwards. Now, the shooter did post a manifesto, which, who gives a shit, right? Like, here's what I'll say, because I read part of the manifesto. Not all of it. It's pretty long, and even what I did read was supposed to be the important bits, kind of excerpted out. But I'll just be completely real. You do not need to read one word of this manifesto, because this guy was so freaking stupid. Like, when they talk about how influential, like, stupid people are, that they just, like, get online and then they stumble upon a certain thing and get brainwashed, basically. That's what he described happening. Like, he was completely apolitical before, like, 2020. He said he went on 4chan because he was bored, and within a couple of years wanted to shoot up a bunch of black people. Like, your head has to be empty, just the stupidest person possible to follow that trajectory. Like, I'll be real, I was on 4chan since I was in middle school and up until college. And I wasn't stupid, so I didn't internalize a lot of the crap on there. Again, when I was on 4chan, it was a lot different. It was a lot better because it was actually where a lot of memes were originating, and there was, like, creative meme work going on. But still, like, come on, dude, this guy's a freaking idiot. You have no reason to read his manifesto because you already know, if you're listening to the show, I'm assuming you're a smart person. You already have more insight into his motivations and like the social structures that created him than he does. He's just like, someone pointed out crime rate percentages, and I was like, what? That's crazy. Since I brought it up, the whole crime rate percentages, like how white supremacists will be like, black people commit X amount of disproportional crimes in this country. Some people, when they hear that fact, they try to take the tact of, oh, well, I mean, they're poorer and poverty's linked to crime, so yeah, black people are doing more crimes, but like, it makes sense and they wouldn't do it if they had more money. This is a terrible tact. Just FYI, and I have seen some leftists and so-called leftists take this tact. What you need to remember is the vast majority of crimes committed in the United States are not pursued in court. They do not reach a trial. The person who committed that crime rarely gets charged in the grand scheme of things. Like, a fraction of property crimes are ever prosecuted. A fraction of property crimes are ever even pursued or someone getting arrested for them. So this whole like, oh, black people commit more crimes, it's a direct consequence of how uneven the justice system doles out justice. It's not simply a matter of poverty, which it is true. Poor people tend to commit more crimes because they're more desperate. They have less places to turn to resolve that desperation, and basically the option they're left with is crime. That isn't why black people, quote unquote, commit more crimes. It's because black areas are policed much more heavily, and when they decide to pursue charges for a crime, well, obviously they're biased against black people. Maybe they'll choose to pursue those charges more than others. That's kind of an aside, but I just think, like, there are so many ways to counter this, like, this argument that he makes in his manifesto. Oh, black people commit more crimes disproportionately. They're charged of crimes disproportionately. And when you realize that the vast majority of crimes aren't charged, that really explains itself. And, I mean, there's plenty of other explanations for it. That if you're just if you're some retard, then yeah, you'll be, what? Black people commit more crimes, Dad? That's crazy, dude. They're gonna kill all the white people. He's just such an idiot. Like, that, yeah, he's just stupid.
You're stupid!
And, you know, this really paints a dark road for the future of America. Not like anyone was all optimistic about it before, but this type of attack, I do believe, will continue to happen. This is not new. It is maybe kind of new how explicitly hateful he was in his manifesto. Like, I think about other mass shooting manifestos, like, what's his name? The incel dude, who, like, the really weird incel dude who made that video in his car. Like, his manifesto was all about how he's aggrieved and how he, like, wished he lived in World of Warcraft and no girls like him, blah, 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 woe is me. This is, like, this manifesto is not really about the guy. It's about, like, just wanting more violence like this to continue occurring. And really trying to stop white replacement, which, if that's his goal, I mean, he thinks that's his goal, but really all this is opening is more just mass violence. Mass and ultimately indiscriminate violence, because even though he was it was discriminate in that he was targeting black people, he wasn't targeting important black people. He was targeting the most ordinary black people in a relatively poor and deindustrialized city. They're like at the margins of black people, which shows that it was discriminately targeting black people, but indiscriminately targeting specific people. And it's just disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. This guy's a freaking loser. His name was Peyton, so he just has like an average, like, Mormon ass, like, his siblings are probably named like Lakin and Brightly and Ding Dong and all this other McKinley and McKinlord and all this other stuff. Like, that is the type of guy who perpetrated this crime. Like, what an absolute scumbag.
Birds of a shit feather flock together, Randy.